Hey, how's it going, lads and ladies? Brad the Guitarologist here. In this video, we're going to check out some stuff that was sent to me recently by this company called SaneSmart. So they reached out to me and said that they had these lasers. These are laser engravers. I'm used to seeing lasers that are, kind of large and take up a lot of space, but these are really cool, I thought, because they are handheld. And you can set them down on whatever you want to engrave. And they engrave in a fairly small area, but for most things, like if you're a project person, you're a hobbyist, what have you, these things could be really, really cool. My idea here is, like, if I'm building an amplifier and I want to make a faceplate for the thing, I want to see what materials I have the ability to engrave. The first one that I'm going to open here is the Genmitsu Gensoku Z4 handheld Galvo laser. So we'll open the box, and I've already cut them open. I haven't taken any of this stuff out, haven't even looked at it. Kind of resisted the urge so far. So what we get is a user manual on top, and it looks like we have a few little sacrificial test pieces there that we can use to kind of test the machine out. This one, okay, comes in, it looks like a few different boxes in here. We've got this little thing, which is a shield, and the fan is built into that. And then you've got right here, you've got the hookups for the fan. That's pretty snazzy. We got here a power adapter. Set that aside. We got tools and accessories, and it comes with safety glasses, which you do need to wear. There are some safety protocols you need to observe when you're using one of these things, and I am not going to skimp on that stuff. I mean, a lot of the times when I'm doing amplifiers and stuff, I'm so used to them, I kind of get blasé about it, and I'm usually not that blasé about it. I mean, you know me, I don't act recklessly, but especially on something like this where I don't have a whole lot of experience messing with a laser engraver in the first place, I'm definitely going to take some caution. So here is the laser itself, and you can see it's a cute little booger. Here are the hookups for the power for this piece. They also sent me another piece for this, which is optional. You don't have to buy it, but I'll show you what it comes with first of all. So it comes with this little base, and you can attach it like so. It just magnetizes itself onto there, hooks up the fan automatically. That is really that's cool and snazzy right there. I'm just curious to see how quickly somebody like me who has really zero experience with anything like this can get started doing this. Does this thing charge? I can't remember. Is this portable to the extent that you can charge it up and take it with you? I kind of doubt it. Okay, is this part? Okay, maybe you could see that on the table there. There's a dot, and the further away from the table I get, the bigger the dot gets. But it will. This is actually a focus dot, and it allows you to kind of focus the thing in, especially when you use the optional stand, which we'll get out a little bit later and check out the optional stand. Let's grab one of our little pieces here, and we'll figure out what we need to do to get the software to work. Okay, tools and accessories. All right, you get a little paintbrush. You get a little USB thumb drive. I think the thumb drive has the software you need on it. And then you've got a USB cable as well. I think this thumb drive may also have some test patterns and stuff that you can print when you're testing the thing out. Okay, and this is like a little dry erase marker, because what you're supposed to do if you're trying to etch, or if you're trying to engrave some materials, you want to use this marker on them. Like if you're trying to do clear glass or clear plastic, I think you're supposed to mark it first. And the same goes for some metals. I think this will do some metals, and you're supposed to mark those before. Steel, I believe, is what it'll do. And you're supposed to mark those before you try to do it. You can also get some optional stuff like a tumbler, where you can engrave stuff like this. You put a cup or whatever in the tumbler, and it will slowly rotate as this thing etches it. Obviously we won't be able to do that right now because I don't have the tumbler. We'll go ahead and get our glasses out. And I do want to see what is on the thumb drive. I hate plugging in thumb drives, man, to my computer. Especially when it's something that was just sent to me. But we have to install it. So, yeah, these safety glasses are going to be, like I said, a necessity when doing this. Oh, okay. That ain't good. Did it just lock down my computer? Is there a way to turn this thing off? Oh no! Don't start burning. What the fuck are you doing? It was burning. Wow. Wow, it started just etching. That's... Okay, this thing is etching right now. I guess there's something stored on it from the factory, and when I pressed the button to try to turn it off, it started etching right away. So that you're going to have to keep that in mind. Do not play around with this thing. I mean it. Do not play around with this thing. Man, that looks great though. Look at that. So that's the file, I guess, that it has by default. But look, when I picked it up, it etched that on accident. So man, you got to be careful. You got to be really careful with this. That was not cool. What a dumb thing for me to do, right? Because the fan is so loud, I wanted to turn it off, you know, while I'm just kind of waiting for things to get going here, because I've got to restart my sound now. One thing I don't like is how heavy this AC adapter is, and you know, for something that's meant to be kind of portable-ish, I really hate how big this adapter is, and there's really not enough cord to put the thing on the floor if you're up on a high table like I am right now. You know, it pulls at this, so there's not. You have to get the adapter up on the table with you, which just creates more mess. I don't know. It just seems like it would have been nice if it had a bit of a longer lead for that adapter, so you could get it down out of the way, no matter what your situation. Okay, we're gonna resync audio in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I've already discovered that I'm gonna have to be very careful with this thing. I'll flip it over and get a fresh side here. Probably prudent to go through the manual a little bit before I do too much else. I think you're just supposed to unplug this thing when not in use. Okay, the USB drive contains drivers, engraving software for the PC, user manual, and a video instruction. USB cable, there's a marker, some craft paper, magnet protective UV shield, this one. Easy to remove and clean. I would imagine it probably smokes up quite a bit, and you have to clean it now and then. They sent me the optional stand, portable charger. Oh, there's an optional portable charger. This is going to tell us all the things that you can engrave on paper, wood, bamboo, cloth, acrylic, plastic, leather, bread, which could be fun, fruit, glass, ceramics, and it will cut paper, wood, bamboo, and leather. I saw somewhere where it would do steel, but it doesn't say it on here. I'm probably gonna try it. Okay, before we do anything else, I'm gonna go ahead and install the drivers for this thing and try to hook it up to the computer. I have a Windows machine, but it has drivers for Windows, Mac, and it has a folder full of pictures, and this is what came with mine. I don't know what you'll get. And it has a link to the manual where you can find it online. So let's go ahead and let's see what software we have here. All right, let's go ahead and install the software. This always makes me a bit uneasy when I see a lot of stuff in Chinese that I can't really understand. I guess it installed it. It really didn't tell me much, did it? It didn't tell me anything. What's it gonna be under here? Laser something? No, of course not. Great. Oh, jeez. Maybe it's under Genmitsu. Nope. Or maybe it's under nothing and I just need to try it again. Let's... Laser BLE. I mean, it's all in Chinese, so I really can't read it. I guess, why not? The drive is successfully pre-installed in advance. Oh man, see, I don't even know what the hell that means. I guess they mean it's ready to go whenever I plug the thing in. So let's go ahead and plug the unit back in. All right, the unit's plugged in. Okay, so here's the program that you get. Text. Boy, that's a messed up text, isn't it? Let's try. Cannibals. Corpse. I wonder if this represents the printable area of the thing, and if I put it in the center, if that's basically putting it in the center of its printable area. Does that make sense? Like, let me test that theory. I'm going to put it all the way up here on the top, and then I will... Can I copy it? Can I copy that, or no? Test the bottom. Okay. So this is just basically a fact-finding operation here. All right, I've got one at the all the way at the top and one all the way at the bottom, and we'll do this one vertical. And then we'll put that one all the way over here to this edge, and then we'll do one more. All right. Is this going to just start when I hit start? Let's try it. Well, I'm pressing preview. I'm pressing preview position. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened right there. What that was all about. There it is. There's my other one. And I just got down to it by using the scroll wheel, and I'm not really too sure about the intuitiveness of this. There's supposed to be a connect device icon. Let me see if I can save this, what I've just done. Let me try opening this again. It says right away that it's connecting, but it's definitely not. Let's try this again. The reason this is so loud, it has actually two fans. It's got a fan down here, an extractor fan for the smoke, and then it's got another one up here for cooling. There it goes. Okay. You can see it. You can see it's actually previewing the positioning of the engraving right now. You see how it's the laser is going around the perimeter? So it's showing me exactly where it's going to print. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to put on these glasses, even though I shouldn't have to use the glasses since it's already got a guard there. And I don't know if it's coming through. This thing is generating a lot of smoke. It's just being dispersed by the fan. But there's a lot of smoke that's being generated. If you use this thing with cardboard or anything that's going to burn, like wood, you really need a ventilated area to do it. I'm just doing this for testing purposes at the moment. That's what I end up with. So I'm going to reuse this. Man, that looks really good. Let's try another image on this cardboard. And we'll try one of these test pictures that they gave us. Seriously, is it not going to let me see a larger preview of the pictures? Are you serious? Why isn't it going to show me a preview of the photos? That seems really dumb. Oh, I guess it does if you... Alright, I see. Alright, I'll tell you what. Let's, Whoops. Let's delete that for now. Let's also delete this circle. Let's grab this rose. And let's try that right there. We'll do a preview position first. Let's see. Let's put it in the middle. And let's make it as large as we can make it. Go right to the edge of the printable area. There we go. Alright, glasses on. And let's hit start. It's pretty incredible. I've got the carving power at 100% though, and the carving speed at 90%. Contrast ratio at 50%. I think if I up to the contrast, it would probably, I'm guessing, just, you know, burn deeper. May play around with that here in a little bit. It looks like I can change the width and the height, but there's got to be limits. Obviously, there's got to be limits. This thing is freaking cool, though, man. This thing is cool. And like I said, I'm just really curious what type of things I can print on. I'll tell you what I want to do. This rose is coming to a completion. Okay, the rose is done. That looks really fantastic. The settings on the thing are the settings are perfect apparently. Just right out of the box from as far as for these test sheets. If you were doing business cards, man, this would be fantastic for business cards. You could print up a bunch of business cards in no time. I'm going to get a package of some different materials, and let's see what kinds of other materials we can engrave on. All right. Some materials you want to be very, very careful. And just to reiterate what it says in here, the fumes can be poisonous off of some things that you engrave, so you just got to be careful with that stuff. Let's do this record. Let's just do my name. How's that? And I don't want to do it very large. Like I said, I'm just testing this out for now, and I don't want it to be... I don't want to release a bunch of toxic fumes into the room, you know what I mean? Preview the position. So it's showing me exactly where it's going to go, and it's going to be in a very tight little area. Looks good to me. Let's start it. Uh-oh. Let's stop it. Now, why did I stop it? Because it's burning that plastic pretty bad. I could smell it. Well, I mean, that went quick. It's too much. It's obviously too much. It did work. It's too much. Let me adjust the settings. Let's do the power at about 50%. Let's adjust the speed up to 90%. Preview position. Okay. And we will start it there. Okay, this time I'm just going to let it finish. I think it may have finished earlier. Just fine. Yeah, I don't want to be burning too much of this kind of stuff, really. That one was better, I think. See, this is the first one. And you can see how just messed up it is. It was too deep, and then this was the second try. Probably should use a different font. Let's take the carving power on down to 25% now. Let's preview position, and let's give it a go. I mean, it's working on the vinyl. I would definitely recommend doing it outdoors, though, because it's this, you know, you're burning vinyl. Tell you what, though, that one's not bad. I mean, with the right font, that's on the right. The only reason it looks a little bit squiggly is because there was something there to begin with. I tell you what, let me try that one more time. I'm going to move over to an area of the vinyl that is a little cleaner. Let's set the carving power on the record down to... Let's set it down to 15%. I'm going to set the text maybe slightly smaller than that last one. Preview position. I think right there. So let's start it right there. That should go real quick. I really don't need the glasses since this is shielding me anyway, but I just... better safe than sorry, right? And that's really fast when you're doing on that low. It kind of sucks. I picked yet another spot that already had damage. But you can see what it would do right there. Can you see that? See, that is not half bad. I put it again, I think right on a piece of damage. Or is that the laser doing that damage? That might be the laser doing that damage. All right, I'm going to definitely pick a spot now that has no damage at all. Because I want to make sure that it's... Let me do that again. So we'll print that same thing again in a different spot. It seems to be leaving these little squigglies in the middle. Okay, this part of the record had no damage. But you can see the little squiggly in the middle, like it starts out. It looks pretty good. I mean, the part that was actually engraved looks good. But there's a little error there. There's a squiggly in the middle that just does not look right, obviously. I think the thing is maybe powering up a little early, and then it starts in the center, and then it powers up a little early, and then goes up into the engraving, and it's leaving a little trail. That's kind of unfortunate. Let's bring down the filling density to 3. It's at 5 right now. The contrast ratio, we'll leave that at 50%. Preview position, looks good to me, and let's start it. And a little engraving like that, that's already done. That literally takes seconds. But again, it is leaving that little squiggly. Yeah, it's leaving a little squiggly mark. That, I don't think there's going to be a way to stop it from doing that, really. Let me test it on a CD. I've got an old CD here. Let's try a CD and see what that does. I'm going to leave the same settings here. And we'll start that right there. And it did nothing. Huh. Try the other side. Put the carving power at 50% now. And try it again. Same thing. Only difference is the carving power is now at 50%. Oh, that did etch that time. You're not going to be able to see that. Let me up the carving power now to 70. Go to about 80%. And we'll do the fill density back up to 5. Oh yeah, that worked. There it is. You can see it. See it right there? So that did work, and it did go through to the other side too. Can you see? Yeah, this could be cool. Like, here's what I could do. So I could burn this, and you see, you wouldn't be able to rub this off either. It would come through the other side. So watch. Okay, so I'm going to use an X reversal. So this is going to be basically printing from behind. Let's see what happens with that. It's going to be kind of hard to see from this direction, but if we turn it around, now you can see it the correct way. And furthermore, that's not going to rub off. That's the cool thing about that. And like, I've got so many of these old CDs. Here's what I'm thinking. Just bear with me here. Like, so if I put a, if I put a potentiometer shaft through this and put this onto an amplifier or something, and then printed right up here, like, well, I'll show you what I mean. All right. So basically, this is what you would have. You put your pot shaft through here. Here's your knob, and then right above the knob, you would have tone, and it's never going to rub off because the CD is actually protecting it, and you could cut the CD to whatever size you want it for that particular. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here of uses for this thing, and to me, that would be a very cool use. I would have to find a good reliable way to cut the CD to size so that I could get a piece for, each control on an amplifier. But man, that could be really cool. I'm really, really interested to see what happens with the metals. I'm going to try it on this aluminum, but I read somewhere you're supposed to use this on some materials. Try it on this aluminum first. You're not supposed to be able to engrave on aluminum, I'm pretty sure. Can you change the... Oh, yeah, you can. You can change the size of this while you're previewing the position, and you can move it around. You can move it around in software and put it exactly where you want it without having to move this thing. That's cool. You see how it's moving here when I move it in the software? I can see it on the part. I can see it, but I think it's just gonna wipe off. It didn't go into the metal. Let's try it again. It did show up on the marker. Let's do the fill density up a little bit. Lower the speed. We'll lower the speed down to 80. Contrast ratio. Let's leave that at 50 for a second, because I'm just curious to see what this does before we do anything else. I can see it, but I don't think it's going to be there when I wipe that off. No, I think aluminum's going to be a bust. I'll try one more time with I'm going to try one more time with some of the settings kind of on high. Yeah, that will not etch aluminum. I want to try it on the steel. Probably should clean it first. It's not clean. Let's try it without the marker first. I'm going to leave the power at 100, speed at 80. Contrast ratio, I don't know really anything about that, so let's leave that at 50%. All right, let's try that. Ooh, it's there. It's there. It's there. Hey. Hey. It's there on steel. Just barely, though. Let me see if I can enhance that a little better. Contrast ratio. Let's go to 100 on the contrast ratio. Let's try that. Alright, that's even worse. There's nothing at all printed there. Contrast ratio, let's put it down to 0. Or maybe that's not the right way to, maybe that's not the right approach. I'll tell you what, let's do the speed at quarter speed. Contrast at 50%, fill density at 10. And we'll try that. This is fun. This thing's cool. Okay, no, nothing again. Let's try that again. The fill density, maybe that's where I'm screwing up. Let's go back down to 5 on the fill density and see if that changes anything. No, that did nothing again. I'm wondering if there's something chemically different about that other part of that steel. You can also pass over it a number of times. You can go how many times you want it to actually engrave in the same area. I'll tell you what, let me try going over the same part twice. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try the same part twice. It's warm, but nothing else. So I don't know. I did read somewhere where it works better if it's painted. Let me try a piece of painted steel. I have a hunch this might work because it's painted. I can smell it. Something worked. Oh yeah, look at that. That's gonna look great. Okay. Does it rub off? No, it does not. That is gonna be cool. Let's try that. Let's actually go over this one 3 times. Alright, this will be 3 times on this one. Oh, dude. Okay, so that's 3 times with painted metal. Yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of possibilities here, man, for things that we could do. I think this is acrylic, and it is clear. And you can find pieces of acrylic like this, at hardware stores and stuff. And I'm just curious if I'm going to try it a couple different ways, with and without this pen. I think you're supposed to use the pen if it's clear. I don't want to go over this 3 times. I want to go over it 1 time. Carving speed, we'll go back up to 90%. This is really thin. Let's bring the carving power down to 50% first. Let's see what that does. Well, it looks good, but I wonder what it's going to look like when I... Oh, dude. Oh, it works. See that? That looks great. That actually looks really great on that. I think that right there, this plastic is where this guy shines. This plastic and on painted metal, both of those look fantastic. And if you were to put something behind this, that would contrast. But see, both of those look great. I'm gonna try it with a piece of wood. I know it's gonna be somewhat smoky. Let's try that. That didn't burn very well. Let's put the power up to 100%, and let's try it again. Okay, that one's better. It's better. Let's do a different fill density. Let's kick that up to 8, and put our passes at 2. Preview the position, and let's start that. That's a little more like it. You see, the one in the middle is the one where I did 2 passes. This one's at 100% with just 1 pass, and this was at what, 50% or something? So you can see the difference there. This thing also comes with a Bluetooth app, so you can use your phone if you want with it. Which, I mean, if you have a computer, I don't see I find apps on the phone kind of limiting. I'd much rather just hook it up to the computer. But we might experiment with that when we test out the second one of these. Yeah, like I said, this thing also came with a support bracket. And we'll open this up too. It's basically just a stand that this thing will set up on, and it allows you to move it up and down. I'll tell you what, man, this stuff is well made, well machined, well packaged. I really can't say enough good things about this. The quality is very high. I mean, if you're looking at something like this and you're thinking, oh, you know, that's just another Chinese piece of junk or something, this is not that. This is not junk. This is actually well made, and I'm very impressed. Actually very impressed. The only part where it sort of falls down at all is the software. The software isn't great, but it's also not that bad. It's usable. Alright, so here is the stand for this model. Now the way this works is you take this base off when you're using this stand, and you just basically set it right up here like so, and it shines right down on the work area. Now you could, like, the reason for doing this is so you can lift it up off of objects, like this brush, for instance. Okay, this paintbrush. Let's lower it down, and actually this has an not automatic, but it has a little lever that comes down. Whoops. And it will allow you to set the height. Let me set the height with the lever. Okay. So that's the height we want right there. Okay, now when you're using this without this guard, you have to use the glasses or close your eyes. You can't look directly at it. It's basically like welding or something. You don't want to look at the light. Okay, we're going to preview the position. We'll lower the speed a little bit. I think we want to go 3 times. Let's go over it 3 times instead of 2. Let's up the fill density to 10, and let's try that. All right. That... Oh, that did very, 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 very nicely. Look at that. That looks fantastic. That looks great. It'd be nice if the work area was a bit bigger, so like if you had larger objects. Like, see how this wants to fall off the edge here? It would just be nice if it didn't want to do that. Let's go over it on this side. Let's do 4 times. Okay. So that's 4 times. The 4th time actually looks even better. That's 3 times. That's 4 times. And you can actually see, if you look at it, it's carved down into the wood. I wish I had a good way for you to see that. Hopefully you can kind of see. That's actually etched into the wood. I mean, that's carved it out. It's, you know, burned into it. But the cool thing about that is you could actually just take some paint and fill that in and then wipe off the excess on the surface, and whatever color you put in the grooves is what color that would be. You could put some wax, just get a bit of wax, beeswax or something, and put it on the surface of the wood. That way the paint wouldn't stick to it on the outside, but it would get down in the grooves and puddle in there. And then when it dried, you could come back and wipe off the outside wax, and it would take the paint, you know, the excess paint with it, and you'd just be left with a nice colored logo, you know. So that would be really cool, man. This thing is super nice. It really is. I mean, it needs to be for the kind of money that you're charging for the thing. I think it's like, you know, it's like $550 or something for this little guy. But it's, I tell you what, man, if you did trade shows, you know, if you sold stuff at flea markets, whatever, man, carnivals, if you traveled around and did stuff and you had a booth, you could make all kinds of money, because you could basically, you know, people could buy something and then have it personalized right there while they waited. You could make a ton of money. You could make your money back with this thing, is what I'm saying. I can just think of tons of possibilities with this. And like I said, the one that I'm really, really psyched to try out is to get this, print it from a reverse like this, maybe on some CD material, and use it for amplifier faceplates, man. That to me is where it's at. That will do it for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, hit subscribe down below to see the next one. We're gonna get it out and we'll compare kind of to how this one went. But I'm really impressed, super impressed. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check one of these out, where you can get one yourself and all that stuff. I highly encourage you to at least check it out. And for now, we will see y'all later. How freaking cool is that? It's awesome.